Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another OCC podcast. Today I am joined by my co host, Nathan Stubby. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. How about yourself?
I am doing very, very well.
Good, good.
Hey,
Good, good.
I know you were just at the MAC 3 event. You
Yes,
were
sir, I
there in
was.
person. How was
Yep.
your in person experience?
It was amazing. Honestly, the energy, the excitement, like just being there and getting into like the midst of it. And we were in the third row back, and you had like an upfront view of everything right there. It was amazing. It was quite the
Yeah, it was
experience.
incredible
Highly
to see.
recommend.
Since yeah, since I knew you were there and some of the other teammates like Mike
Yeah,
Mendy and stuff, I seen he was
yep.
right at the front row,
He
and
was, yeah, right
so
in
I
the
can
front
only
center.
imagine
Yeah,
imagine
it was
the
amazing.
view you guys got of the match.
Yep. Yep. It was good. It was great.
I knew that we had a lot of great camera angles from in the matches, being
Yeah.
on the we bought the pay per view and stuff. So, what
Yep.
was your in person experience of watching the matches, the intros, meeting all the athletes and everything?
I think the intros were probably some of the coolest parts I've ever seen. Um, but the matches, a lot of time the cameraman was kind of blocking me from the matches, but I think you can almost feel the power that's there. Like if you know what I mean? Like you're so close, you can see the tension, and I know like you can see it over the video as well, but it's just being there in person and hearing the guys, and like you can hear everything and you can see them walk in. You can almost feel the heat of the sparks, right? Because they're just walking right past you, and you just
Yeah,
being there is so much of a better experience, especially getting those front row seats. It's amazing. Yeah.
that's awesome. That's awesome to
Oh
hear
yeah.
and stuff. And were there any like other than seeing it directly on the match, were there any screens that you could watch it through as well?
There was no screens, but there was a big projector on the wall that showed who was up against who and what the points were. Especially for the tough thing
Oh,
at the beginning. There was who came next, and I don't know if it was on the live stream or not. But yeah, it was like, okay, Staken's next against whatever the other guy's name is from US. And then, you had LSSer against Bullzan, and you had like the different people in line, and then the different points that they won and the points at the top. But there was no like actual screen you could watch it, the live thing on. No, just had to be there, I guess.
well, which is incredible. You were there, so
Yeah,
obviously you got to see it all in person. I just
exactly. Yeah.
wasn't sure because I wasn't there, and sometimes at venues they have other screens as well where you can watch it through.
Yeah. And apparently, since our last podcast, Ian said there might be something like that in the future. So something to look forward to, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and that would be awesome
Yeah.
to go to and enjoy that.
Yep.
So, starting at the team event, what was your experience? I know I've never seen it in person. I kind of watched some of the videos of the first tough event that they had. That was
Yep.
not at a MAC event. That was just a tough event, and Ian was in that, and some other legends like Mike
Yep.
Gould and others. Rick
Yep.
Heidebrick. Watching it in person, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts at first, it was super cool. You had these two teams standing on either side of the stage. They had kind of like their coaches on either side talking to them. And then you had the table in the middle, and they kind of walked up and they were there, right? Which was amazing for the tension, the excitement, all that kind of stuff. But I think as it went along, because there were so many rounds and a
Yep.
lot of the same people just kept pulling each other over and over, you kind of knew what was coming. Like as soon as Zach pulled Eric, is it Zach? Yeah, I think it's Zach. Zach pulled Eric like three times, but you know every time it's gonna win. And don't get me wrong, those are both very strong arm wrestlers, but just from the first one, it was such an easy win for Zach that you just know what's going to happen as soon as you throw them together again. And I think they could remedy that because I believe the last one was you had two of each weight class, right? Correct me if I'm wrong,
Yep.
but they then you can switch them up a lot more, and it makes it a lot more interesting, I find. Even if you did like four weight classes or just four of each, yeah, I guess eight people on a team, and then two per weight class, so just four weight classes. I think that would even be just that much more interesting. But
Yeah, so you
overall,
could swap out
it
the
was neat.
pullers
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, just to see, okay, yeah, this person lost to this person, but in the weight class, this person still dominates over that guy, or whatever, right? Just switch them around more.
Yeah, no, that would be really nice to do maybe
Yeah,
in the future to see them do that.
I
I
think so.
didn't watch the whole team event because I had seen part of it and then hanging out with my daughter and then Jake was here and we just chilled a
Okay.
bunch before
Yep.
watching it because we knew that the whole event would be a long time, which it
Right.
went I think over the time that they had
Oh
accounted
yeah.
for.
Yep. It went in a whole
So
hour over. Yeah.
yeah, so we didn't go on till just before the super matches started, and then we watched some of the team event back and stuff a little bit here and there. But it in the time that we watched the team event and we seen clips and stuff of it, it was already bulls and it was the anyways I think the lightest weight class. They went twice, and it was just Staken. I think got like his wrist taken right away, and then it was just
Yep.
like
Yeah, that was versus Staken versus what was the other guy's name? Um like Greasley or something? I forget his last name.
okay.
That was yeah, they just kept going against each other. I think they went like 15 times. And a lot of times like three in a row. Like they did so much pulling that like at some point it was
Round.
just like yeah, like every round they just did like at least five of them were them. Like they just kept going.
Oh,
But yeah, so that
but
guy really carried it for the team.
and Staken, I'm assuming lost them all.
Every single one. Yeah, I don't think he won a single one against the other guy. Yeah.
But yet at the same time, Canada versus US, he was Canadian, but Canada absolutely dominated. Like the
Yes.
point difference was, did it end at like 68 to 106?
It was something really large, yeah. But I think the whole reason they even got those 68 or I think it was 69 or something points is literally because of that, the lightweight guy.
All
I
the
think
other
that's
matches they lost.
I think so. Maybe one? No, I think Jamie Staken lost one. I think. I can't remember entirely now. I don't know if they have it up here.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that up, but yeah, I
No, I
wasn't
don't think
sure.
they have the tough event up. But
It's not very interesting. And then I
yeah,
don't remember all the matches, the super matches, name for name. I know it was
I've got it up here.
the
So
first was Blake versus someone.
no, the first one was Coach Ray against Josh.
Oh yeah, Coach Ray and Josh.
Yeah, Coach Ray and Josh. Honestly, I
Viewing
think
it from
Josh put up a really good fight.
viewing it from our end, it looked like Coach Ray was in control the whole time, and he was letting Josh into the match. Did it seem that way there too, or did it seem like he was actually they were both in the match, and Coach Ray just with so much more experience and technicality, he was able to pull off the win, make it look that easy.
I think I think Josh was still in the match. But I think as soon as it went to that hook, he kind of lost his chances because they went to the hook pretty quick. And I think Josh
Yeah,
actually could hold him a bit, but Ray was just so much more dominant in the hook that he ended up taking all three. I think for sure the first one, I think Josh was still in the match for sure. The other two, more debatable whether or not Ray was just kind of, letting him hold him or not.
yeah,
But I don't know.
yeah. Definitely very impressive for Josh to even get that chance to
Oh, for
pull
sure.
Coach Ray.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
then, yeah, and he wasn't even the only one that from our team or our surrounding teams that pulled Coach Ray from our
Yeah.
own very own club.
It's
We
correct.
had Evan Anderson. He pulled
Yep.
him as well in the tournament.
He did. He did. I think, like, obviously, Coach Ray dominated that tournament. he said Evan had a good hit, which was cool. Um, but yeah, I think he was really just letting Evan kind of take it, as far as he felt like it, and then he kind of finished him off. I think that pro tournament, I think it was the pro up to 205 or something, 189
Yeah,
205 or something like that. And I think he easily takes that. Like there's no competition for him there really.
yeah.
Like it
And
was
then I'm pretty sure, yeah, that was crazy. And then the second super match was Blake versus,
Blake versus Matt
um,
Oliver.
yeah,
And I
which was
think
great.
Blake was the definite favorite, but Matt was severely underestimated. 100%. Like
Yeah, what
he not
what
only
I didn't quite understand was when Blake set up for that first one, he went into press and automatically gave up his wrist and kind of his pronator, which I was like, which
yeah,
every time I've seen Blake pull, especially in a super match, like in a tournament, he seems a little more comfortable. But in a
yeah,
super match, I feel like he gets so desperate for the pin. I don't know.
tries
That's
to get
just
it right
me.
away.
I know I kind of said that when we were talking about going into
Yeah,
the three, that he's
yeah,
if as long as he would stay focused and everything and get good position. But I seen right away as soon as that first hit, he like not only did he give up his wrist, but he gave up his pronator a little bit, and I
yeah,
was just went right into what Matt did. And then the second round, I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly the second round, but then the third round, he went for a top roll and actually completely took him. Thought he took him, but the ref didn't call, and then
yeah,
lost.
yeah. I saw
And that,
that. That was very unfortunate.
which
I
I
think he should
I
have
was
started from the
super surprised
beginning.
because I'm like, as soon as I seen that top roll hit, I was like, he's got the rest of the match. But then they didn't
Yeah,
call it a pin,
yeah.
and then I was like, oh,
I know.
what
I
were your thoughts on that match, seeing it in live?
Yeah, I think he should have gone for top roll the whole time. And I think it starts to become like a little bit of a nerves thing for sure. Because yeah, that top roll was really good on that last round. But I do think Matt is quite a bit stronger. I know like a lot of people like Blake, and I do too. Love him, he's a great guy. But I think I don't know. Matt just seemed to the first two rounds at least, Matt seemed to kind of control that match. It was yeah. I don't know what to say really about that one, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's great. And then what was the third match? Was that Milo?
Yes. Yes, that was Milo versus Shakar Verma.
I know
That
when we
one,
had Ian.
sorry, go ahead.
I know when we had Ian Carnegie on that
Yep.
Ian said he thought if it went like strength wise, Shikar would be the stronger man,
Yeah.
and if technicality, it would be Milo. What did
Right.
you see on your end?
I saw honestly from where I was, I pretty much saw Milo destroy him. Like I think from what I remember, Shakar kind of stopped him, but he kind of just plowed through him, to be completely honest. And like I don't know, when I saw Shakar go up there, I was like, "Ooh, this could actually be pretty good." But then they pulled, and I'm like, "Huh, maybe we're underestimating Milo here." Like,
Yeah, I the same thing because hearing that and hearing from some other people,
yeah,
they were like, "This Shikar guy is very strong." I heard some other people speaking about it as well, and they were kind of worried. They're like,
yeah,
if he gets in a bad position, I'm pretty sure even Devin and Auden talked about it. They're like, if he
okay,
gets in a bad position, it could be a bad day for Milo.
yeah,
And then he goes in, he doesn't even top roll at all. He completely hooks him. Just the first
yeah,
round was just like no grab, bang, straight to the pad.
yeah,
And then I even Devin in the corner say, "Why do people think the Lariats all need a strap?" And I was like, because I don't know if you could hear that off the
I
stage,
couldn't
but
hear it.
through
No,
the mics, we could hear that. And I just was like chuckling. And I was like,
yeah,
because he went right into that hook with him and just plowed through him. And I was like, and that was like almost all the rounds. one round it was a little sticky at the bottom, but I think if Milo would have made a readjustment, they would never have
But
even gotten sticky.
yeah,
I
no,
think it was
exactly.
just how he grabbed him and stuff on that one round.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he
I think
wasn't even
he
taking a crazy like advantageous setup. Like
no.
Milo seemed very uncomfortable for Shikar to grip up with,
I
just in
think it's because he
general.
was so much taller. Like I'm pretty sure Milo's
Yeah.
quite a bit taller than Shakar.
Oh yeah. But
But
Shikar looked like the more built man. Like
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Milo looked a lot slimmer. Like I their weight discrepancy probably very close, but being
Yeah.
Milo being so much lankier that he just holds more weight overall.
Yeah. The
And then
next one,
what was the fourth?
um, Danimal Labrie versus Daniel Schwartz. That
That
one,
was the Ottawa High Hookers dominated.
I think so. Oh yeah. I think with Devin whispering in their ears too, though, like I kept hearing them be like, "Oh, hey, do this, do that," and he'd like say good advice, and then they would do it, and then be like, "Boom," immediately good feedback. Um,
Yeah,
which I think is a good thing to have that, Devin as your coach, basically. Um,
that like one of the greatest arm wrestlers of all time,
oh
standing
yeah,
in your corner, giving you advice is alone a couple percent of extra boost of energy just to
oh
like
yeah,
want to create the show, like yeah, like man or whatever.
yep, yep. But I don't know. I don't have much to say about that match. I enjoyed it. They were both kind of like glaring each other down. Like when they were walking around, they would just like look at each other like this way and that way. They'd be like looking across the table, and it was funny.
Campbell Mabry's like I think he's in his 50s
Yeah, he's
or
older.
around. Yeah,
I think they were
yeah.
both older though.
He
Yeah,
seems strong.
he is. I'm pretty sure he's really good. Yeah, he seems
I
really
was
good.
yeah. He like the first match, like he got a little sticky into the King's move, and he was like very out. And then the second one, he just he just attacked uh, Dan Schwartz's pronator a little more,
Yeah,
and it seemed to just completely shut him down. Like even in that hook, just like he just took a little bit more of Dan Schwartz's pronator, and as soon as he like, and it
yeah,
was like Dan Schwartz was shut. Seemed like he just held him there in the hook.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think
That's the scene.
yeah, yeah. I couldn't see a ton of it from where I was sitting, but I should probably watch the video of it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how long I can watch it on like restream it on
Oh
my yeah
yeah, I don't know.
because I've bought it here, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. The
And
next
then
one, it was Joseph Spolger versus Shea Dickey, which I found to be one of the more interesting matches. Those were
that's
quite good fights.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
I know Ian said when he was speaking with us that most times the matches at Mac don't start off with one person getting a score or like a match on the board and then others coming back.
no,
And I feel like this whole Mac event completely disproved that whole point.
I think
There
so.
was
Yeah.
multiple matches on this card that the score would go back and forth.
Yep. Yeah, I think, and from what Ian said too, like you have this unknown name, Joseph Spolger, unknown to most people. I obviously know him from the Armcats events. But then you have Shea
Yep.
Dickey, who used to be a much bigger figure. I guess he still is now. But yeah, like you have this well-known name and this unknown name, and he wins the first match, and it's like, oh boy. what's gonna happen here. I
Yeah.
mean, that tension really reached a high point, and then Shea Dickey won the second one, and we're all just like, okay, what's gonna happen here? Like the outcome is truly unpredictable at that point. You don't know what the other guy's capable of, but you see him win one round, and then it was amazing.
Yeah. He was in
Yeah,
that match. I feel like the first two rounds, the third round still. I feel like the fourth round, then he was out already.
he was out of
He,
gas. Yeah,
his gas tank.
unfortunate.
He was running that first match. He ran at his 100%. I think just to get
Oh
that
yeah.
pin, and
Yep.
yeah, and it was like almost like Jay Dickey never was able to get boots on the ground until the second round, and then as soon as he
Yeah.
was able to get boots on the ground, Joseph Folger wasn't able like that 100% force that he couldn't do a second
He
round of
couldn't
that.
keep it up. Yeah. And I think is it almost felt like Shea Dickey had to get moving, and
Yeah,
Spolger had the instant force, and then just like you said, it switched. For sure it switched.
which that was a very interesting match. It was
That
awesome.
was very cool. Yep. Yep. And then one of the slightly less interesting match, just because he won it by storm. Mike Hit versus Matt Smith. Now, obviously, Matt Smith
Yeah,
is a huge name in our area for sure.
yeah,
And then you just have this guy from, I think he's from Idaho or Indiana or something like that, Mike Hit,
yeah.
and he shows up and wipes the board. What were your thoughts on that one?
I was super surprised because just seeing how mentally Matt Smith came into it and everything, and seeing just how he was looking and stuff, he didn't
Yep.
seem like he even cared.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Like
agree.
other times you
Totally agree.
see him fired up and like revved up, he
Yeah.
didn't seem to care in this match. And you even seen Devin in his corner, like every time, be like, "Come on, Mike, just ask for the strap."
Matt,
And
yeah.
then he'd just ignore Devin, go up to the table, not ask for the strap or anything, and
It's like
just get like,
it was like he knew didn't have a chance or something, which is a very
"Yeah,
weird that's a weird attitude to take to a super match. That's right? Like,
yeah, I don't." Maybe that wasn't it at all. Maybe there was other stuff going on behind the scenes. I'm not sure, but from
yeah,
what I seen, it just seemed like he wasn't mentally there.
yeah, yeah. And Mike Hit, yeah. What do we know about him? I talked to him before the super match. I didn't even recognize him at first. I was just like, whatever, just talking to another guy. And then I'm like scrolling through the list, and I'm like, huh? Is that guy? And then I go back. I'm like, are you Mike Hit? And he's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. So like, yeah, we got talking and whatnot, this and that. So I was kind of, secretly cheering for him, even though Matt Smith, of course, is the main guy there that what we wanted to win. But yeah, like he swept that board, and I don't know, that was quite the performance.
He looked super jacked too.
Yeah, yeah, he was he was like shorter than me, but a lot bigger, if you know what I mean. For
He's
sure.
shorter than you.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I seen
He wanted to
some of
after
the
pull me,
stats.
but there
Some of the,
was no after pulling after, so I was like, we left. Yeah. We left like at 10:30-ish, and they were basically canceling after pulling more or less, so unfortunate. But
yeah,
yeah.
and then was pork chop after
Pork chop
the next.
versus Jerome Loud. Yeah. Yeah. That was the
I
next
was
one.
I was slightly disappointed with that match. Just
Why is
even the
that?
way it ran and everything.
What do you mean?
Just in general, like the way like they would go for a grip, and I felt like it took so long. Like I just wanted them to strap up and go, and the way like Pork Chop was literally forcing Jerome Loud to like grab like with his hand completely down,
I know.
right, and then
I
Pork
know.
be like this, and Jerome Loud was grabbing, and
Yep.
Pork Chop would grab like this, and
Yeah,
then he
he'd
was able to like he could be like up here or here, and
yep.
like it would just was over Jerome's completely over him.
Yeah. And then I guess like I was talking to Jerome after, and he said too, like he was down and the ref like didn't really like they corrected it, of course, but then they left it at certain spots and he was like, this is not working. But he won one of them, which is
Just
good.
okay. Yeah, I don't know. Just personally, just watching that match, I really wanted Jerome Lau to win, and
Yep.
so being there, just watching how it went and seeing how the ref. The first two Mac events I felt like went a lot quicker because they were not like they wanted the opponents to be squared up, the wrists to be straight and
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
But I feel like with the refs they use this time, they're great refs, incredible refs in the CAWF, which is the Canadian Federation.
Yep.
But I felt like with how they've dumbed down the rules slightly, these guys still wanted to apply all the finicky stuff of your wrist has to be this. It's got to be like perfect, perfect, perfect to
Yeah.
start the match. And then if like you're complaining about that finicky thumb knuckle, which you can pretty much see it, but they want you just that little bit farther down and stuff. And then I don't know. And then the whole strap thing. I'm pretty sure in the other events that if you asked for it, it immediately went to strap, and this time they were doing a coin toss.
Yeah. Well, I think the strap thing was you had to both agree on it. And I think Ian said that as well when we talked to him. And I even had that at the tournament where one guy wanted it, I didn't want it. And so they were going to toss a coin, but they couldn't find the coin. So they just didn't do straps. We slipped anyways, but oh well. But yeah, you both had to agree to want the straps, basically, is what the thing was. Because I know Mike Mendy had
Well,
that against a Ole Danilov, the British Columbian guy. And
yep.
whatever. Mike said he wanted straps, and the other guy didn't, and so they did a coin toss. But yeah,
And did it go to straps?
yep. But the other guy, I don't think understood because I guess he doesn't speak English very well, so he got really mad at Mike. Thought he was cheating him or something. I don't know, if Mike, if you heard Mike say that, but that's the next. That's
That's
the next
hilarious.
battle here, actually. It is Olev
Oh,
Danilov versus BLM.
yeah.
I expected that
Which
to go way different. That
how'd you
was
expect it to go?
I expected BLM to put up a way better fight.
Me
Like,
too. Especially
he,
after watching how Matt Mask ran over Ole,
yeah,
and then I knew how like BLM has been in the past, and then like he was getting his setup and everything. Because even Ole was like in his after the little this speech they have like with where
oh
Coach
yeah,
Ray would ask him how the match went. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know there was so much tricks in the setup." And then I was like, but I thought like if BLM did all those tricks, he would like just rip it out.
yeah, and that's what I was
But
expecting too. But
himself in some bad positions. Like he
BLM,
was trying to back pressure, but he was like back pressuring like out here.
right?
Like I don't know if you could see it. Like from the camera angle, it looked like he was trying to like back pressure out here, and I was like, oh, that looked like a scary place to be.
Yeah, I know.
Like you,
Maybe it
literally
was.
on the camera angle, it looked like his forearm was like bending.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah, no, it
great.
was like yeah, that maybe that was just the camera angle or something, but it looked
Yeah,
like it got a slight bow in it, like his forearm, like
right.
round.
Yeah, and it's weird because like even Mike Mendy put up a good fight against Ole. Which I'm not saying that Mike's weak. Like obviously Mike is really, really good, but Ole, like does that mean Mike could be a good competitor for BLM? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I don't
I
know.
don't
We
know where
should
they
we should make that a
rank.
super match.
Yeah, put that as a match on the next Mac
Yeah,
4 event in Toronto.
yeah. Okay. Interesting one. John Tyrion and Daniel Price. That
That one
one
was very interesting.
we thought that would be very one-sided, but Price put up a very good match there. That was good on his part. Yep.
Yeah,
But
and
then
I didn't
again,
know John Tyrion.
it was
I didn't
left
know
on.
John Tyrion had that many losses on the left hand.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like when they announced it, they're like 15-0, and no, 0-15 or
Oh,
whatever.
and 15 matches or something. Yeah. Like he's never won.
And I was like, he's like, yeah, I never won on the left hand before. I just broke this streak. I was like, what?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a
I
great
know.
match, and but you could see every time John Tyrion would let up just a little bit to like look at the crowd,
Yeah.
he would get like Daniel Price would like really get him.
Take advantage of it.
You could tell it was a very hard match and that he had to really concentrate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
So yeah,
I don't know. I think it was good. I think if it was right hand, it would be a lot more just total demolition. But the fact that it was
yeah,
left
well,
hand
yeah, that was
really, really set it up. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Doug Ford versus Alan, or sorry, Doug Ford.
not,
Doug Allen versus Alan Ford. Um,
yeah,
I don't know. It was pretty one-sided, and from what I could
yeah.
tell. Um, yeah,
Alan Ford had the full hand control the whole time. Like he got that first top roll when Alan Ford just took him that in the one sweep on that first hit. I was
yep,
like, unless Doug Allen can really make adjustments, he's not in that match because normally
yep,
when Alan Ford is that crisp with his top roll off the first one, you
yep,
have to make some significant changes just to change it up because he was so confident after that first win, it
oh
going
yeah,
that easy. Was
yep,
confident, like he was not gonna like he didn't let off the brakes a little bit, and you
yeah,
even heard him afterwards say he's like, I was expecting more. And
yep.
that's
Oh
not what
yeah,
you want to hear after a match.
not
You want
really.
somebody to come in and say, I was expecting more, so I got really trained up and kind of easy. Like it's like, oh
Yep.
crap, like
I know. Yeah, so that one was kind of in my opinion, one of the more boring ones. Just seeing him easily sweep the
I
stage,
enjoyed it
obviously.
because
Okay. Okay. Just sitting there
I
is just
enjoyed it just because I want to see Alan Ford do well, and so for him to
yep,
get another win like that, that's
yep,
awesome. It's I think huge for him,
for
and
sure.
that just puts him another step up on keeping on continuing to maybe climb into that top 10 in North America or well I think he is in that top 10 in North America or bordering
Uh
it but then
Something like
even
that. Yeah. You
climb.
can Alan Ford.
Yeah, I'm not sure what rankings he might be on but yeah,
Yeah, he
we can always jump
is.
to the next match.
Yeah. Okay, the next match was, in my opinion, the most interesting one. Of course, a lot of people were there for John Tyrion, for Blake, but the pork chop versus Constantini, Tiny.
That was
That
awesome.
was the craziest super match I've ever seen.
I hope
That's
people were betting on that match and I hope people like put a lot of money towards Pork Chop and Tiny for that match because that was
I think so.
crazy.
Yeah. That
Was like we were watching it live, so we were watching it on the TV live in the basement, Jake and myself,
Yep.
and then at supper time, here with my
Okay.
daughter and my wife and Ashley get back, and so they're like,
Yep.
"What do we want for dinner?" So we're like, "Whatever, just order wings and stuff, and we'll just throw some frozen pizzas in the air fryer
Yeah, for
or in
sure.
the oven."
Oh yeah.
So we order up wings. We head to town, Jake and myself. So that's like at 5 o'clock. And that was just before that match. So we're in the vehicle on the way to town. I pull up my phone I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm watching it even while we're on the way to town. And then like getting the wings and stuff. I'm like in there at the pizza place, like
Yeah.
watching it like this. I'm like, Jake, look, he got another
You gotta
$2
see it.
pork chop. Like it's going back and forth. He's like, no. He like literally told the guy. The guy's like, you can pay now. He's like, wait 1 minute. We watched the finish the round, and they were like long rounds.
Oh
And
yeah,
then he
they
goes out
were.
and pays.
That's
He's like,
amazing.
you gotta wait a minute. And so like, yeah, that was
This
very
is
entertaining.
serious stuff. Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah,
was just him getting into that king's move position and then slowly but surely prying open the pork chop's wrist before taking it and just so amazing.
yeah.
So good to watch.
They
And
don't
I
mind the
think,
King's move.
yeah.
I don't like it when it really goes under the table, but I
Mhm.
didn't think you were able, like on these Mac tables, it was you were able to really, but
Yeah, not really. No. I
but
think,
really he really showed that you can King's move on those tables really well if you want to,
yeah,
and we won the match. It was a battle, and then even on that last round, just finishing in a press like that,
yeah.
that to me was incredible. Like I
Oh,
knew
yeah.
they're both good, but
Mhm.
for him to finish off the match like that, like they were both like almost dying, and with
Oh,
that
yeah.
one like that Jason Constantini did when he ripped like with the strap on, he
Yeah.
like completely like busted up Pork Chop's wrist. It looked like and stuff. It looked
Yeah,
super.
something happened. Yeah. And I think just Pork Chop was so confident from the previous one against Jerome. He was like, "Okay, I won this one," and like he knows obviously that Constantini is really good, but for him to go up there and just be like, "All right, crap," he just won the first round, and then the Pork Chop takes back two, and it's starting to look bad for Constantini, and then Constantini gets in there and really just tears him apart. And I'm pretty sure they were both bleeding by the end of it. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
they were like Constantini's elbow was
Yeah,
busted
his
up.
elbow was destroyed. Yeah. Yeah,
You
same
could
with
literally like see it like every time like he would shift on the pad, you would see
yeah.
his like all the skin just like frying up on the side. It was like
Oh,
brutal. You're watching it in the like camera view from like his elbow and stuff as you're watching. If it's going off
yeah.
the back, you just see like all the skin fry up, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like it's about to get bloody because of all that force going through that elbow.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. Okay. Second last match was the super heavyweights, Rick Heidebrink and Philip Larson.
Yeah, Philip Larson, Sweden.
Yes.
He came in
He
and
looked like a Viking. He had the
well,
full
he pulled the
beard
bike
and
in
stuff.
right?
That was good. I think it was relatively one-sided on Philip's part, from what I could
Definitely. From what
see.
from
Like,
what I could see too, he like completely took the hand. Like
yeah, immediately.
had nothing in the match. Like Rick is a top roller,
Mhm.
and that is like his ace move, and he rarely goes to any other move, and he never even got to his top roll.
He didn't even
Like
get
his
to
wrist
try.
would
No.
crack a little bit, and he would start to lose pronator, and
Yeah.
every round, like you could see that Philip Larson was able to get over his pronator just a little more as he
Yeah.
was taking the risk. So he knew that every like first round, Philip as he pinned, his wrist kind of went slightly back, and then the
Yeah.
second round it's flat, and by the third round he was able to add even a little bit of cup, and you
Yeah.
could see that was just wearing down on Rick
It
Hedrick's
was it was getting rid of him so
pronator.
quick. Yeah. As much of a disadvantage as he like not a disadvantage, but like even the little bit that he could have had with Phillips still being slightly out, um,
Yeah,
pressing there. By the end of it, yeah, I think he was done.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he was. He didn't seem to be in the match. I was really hoping he would be in the match, and
I
I
was
knew
too.
Philip was.
Yeah,
because he did have a match against Brad Grundy and beat him, but
right,
thought maybe just Brad Grundy hadn't been on point that day. But
right.
Philip just showed that the way he handled Rick Hatterbrick was he's just too much.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, and then the final one, the main event. Auden Larrett versus Artem Taranenko. That match that was quite the match.
But it was
Oh
pretty
man,
interesting to watch.
it was entertaining. It's definitely entertaining.
Kept entertaining. I think Auden went a little overboard.
Definitely.
I I like
Oh yeah.
Auden and I want him to do well and I want him to continue to progress and stuff. But I feel like there was a point where yeah, get hyped up, get yourself hyped up, get everyone hyped up so that they hype you up, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have that attitude of I'm in this, I'm going to have it, and then
Yep.
kind of everyone starts to believe you in the room, right? And they start to cheer you on.
Yep.
But I feel like he crested the mountain. He went a little too high, and like everyone else was kind of like they're watching it and they're like, you don't have it. We can see you don't have it. Why are you pretending to have it?
Yeah, you're overhyping
And
this. Yeah.
yeah, like
I
that
think
first
the
slip
first sign was
in the
I
slip, he looked extremely dominant. I'm like, whoa, he's in the match.
yeah, which
Even
I
when they got
think
that
he
first
was.
grip up,
Yeah.
the first grip up when he's like, "Grr," and he's like, you're effed, and then it was
Yeah.
just boom, side pressure hit, done.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much that every other round.
Yes, I think he was in the match anyways though. Like I think he has a good possibility if he goes a little bit more. Just
Yeah, I don't. I think
for me, when he was just like when he kind of stopped Artem and then he yelled at him and then Artem took it, like that was way overboard, in my opinion.
yeah, in my opinion, it was way
That
overboard too. I was like,
was
hey, you could have just instead of starting to talk, you could
yeah.
have actually like focused on what you're doing. But
Yeah, you could have
um,
been like, "Oh crap, that was a good hit. I managed to stop it. What am I gonna do next?" Instead of yelling at him and then yeah, Artem took advantage of that distraction and really just flattened him out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't know. I watched Artem's post match talk and stuff like that he
Yeah.
uploaded on his YouTube,
Oh,
and
okay. I haven't seen it.
he from from that he seemed to act and say that he didn't really like. He said he really felt that Auden's hand was pretty decent, but
Yeah.
he didn't feel any threat really at all in the match
Hmm.
other than that.
Okay.
So
Huh. I wonder if he
maybe
slipped
he's
just to get a feeling for it then,
yeah.
or maybe he just likes straps better. I'm not
So
entirely
I
sure.
think everyone I think nowadays like we all train
Well,
in strap time. So
yeah, but I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. Going without the strap, Auden definitely has a bigger hand and a longer lever, so that
Yeah.
would have likely played an odd advantage to him. But
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
And then how was the tournament after and everything?
It was good. I liked it. I liked the way they set it up. I liked how fast they did it, and I don't think there were too many repetitive. Obviously, it wasn't a novice tournament, so they didn't have like just crowds of people waiting for whatever this, that, and the other thing. Um, I like how I like and dislike how they split it up into two groups. One thing that really stood out to me was they took the winners of each group and paired them off against each other. So chances are, like they took the first and seconds from each group because they split the let's say the 155 men's class in half. There were 16 people, I think, and they split them into half and half of eight. And then the people that won went against each other in finals. The people that got second went against each other in finals. But then you never have the person in third going against the person in second, which if you just get the weak half, you could have somebody in second that is actually way weaker than the person in third. but they've just never had a chance to go up against each other, which I think is
Well, that is how
kind of a bad way to do it.
tournaments go.
True.
That is how a lot of tournaments, like jujitsu tournaments and everything, they run that way too, very much.
Right. I think the only
And if,
way it didn't really.
as soon as you get put into the B bracket, you can never get back to the A bracket
Right. Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
yeah, I don't know.
which I think the double elimination has a advantage on in that perspective, but I also
Yeah,
think this was better than double elimination because you're actually pulling a lot more.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
I pulled 6 times. I won 2 of them, lost 4 of them. But I mean, in double elimination, you could be put up against the 2 people that are eventually going to win first and second, and you'll never be able to pull anybody else. Like it's
Yeah, that's very accurate. But that was very impressive that you got those wins because you even trained the Wednesday before.
I know. Yeah, that's true. I only trained a couple days before, and this was my second tournament, and I went directly to pro. I wasn't. I was feeling strong, but I wasn't feeling confident I could take any more than I had last time. My first tournament ever, I got 1 win, and this time I
That
went
was
into the
church.
pro tournament and I got 2 wins. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's great. And then a
yeah.
bunch of our other guys did really well in the tournament as well, which is
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. A lot of people did really well. I think Mike Mendy got second and
Was there
Evan got third.
was there payouts in the tournament or just
I don't think so. No. No, it was just medals. Yeah.
very
But
nice?
yeah, I think it was really cool. Overall, I think it was a great time. I'm still debating whether or not to go to the March 29 one. April 12, I'm going. So I think the March 29 is too close to the April 12 one. But
Depending, like you have like 2 weeks in between, but yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I guess it really depends how I feel that weekend. I might. Who knows? It is open, so I could have a chance
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I think the March 29th one, that's Joe Gould's tournament, right?
Yeah, yeah. One in Brantford or Brampton or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. But
Very nice.
you're not going to the April 12 one, right?
No.
No.
I'm gonna host an in-house club thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
My
Because Evan
phone's
and I are going up there. What's up?
my my phone's gonna shut down in like 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, it's 10 o'clock. I think this discussion is basically over. So I think,
Sounds good.
yeah, I got nothing else to say. So,
Perfect.
Ian, if
Well,
you're
see you
watching
tomorrow.
this, I got the hat. You're welcome. I met Ian there as well. Talked to him. Talked to his son, Liam, as well. It was great times.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
See you
All
tomorrow,
right.
buddy,
Yeah,
at
for sure.
practice.
I'll be there.